Hello everybody, and welcome to this video where today we're going to be reviewing Night Sky with Exit Wounds by Vuong. This book, if you recall the videos I've done on Vuong being good, I will post them periodically through up here. I've heard him read, and I've heard him read some of the poems that are in this book, and he reads very well. I like his readings for the most part. His poetry, for the most part, I like, especially when it's just straight poetry and it's no frills. Like, let me find an example for you here. A Little Closer to the Edge is a pretty good example. One of the things that, like, Always and Forever, like, when he reads his poetry, he doesn't, for the most part, at least from what I've seen, he doesn't do any of the stuff that his enjambments and line breaks would lead you to believe you would have to do. He'll just like read it like it's just a straight line for the most part. And like, obviously there are going to be some exceptions to that rule. So when you hear him read, these sit a lot better than, and like that's fun and good. I don't know. They read better when he's reading them. Because It's Summer is really good. I like that one a lot. But like all of this, like it's when you read it the way you expect the poem to be read, it's very disjointed, and it takes away from the actual poem itself. And when you look at this poem, Seventh Circle of Earth, this is something that I've talked about before. The whole poem, okay, is in footnotes. And the thing is, and maybe he did it because like this story, this horrific story about this murder was like a footnote in the newspaper. Like not necessarily a footnote, but it was treated as like a footnote. And so to be cute and clever, he wrote a poem like that. And the poem itself is very strong, but doing that is really gimmicky. So I'll read this poem to you. On April 27th, 2011, a gay couple, Michael Humphrey and Clayton Capshaw, was murdered by immolation in their home in Dallas, Texas. So here's the poem. 1. As if my finger tracing your collarbone behind closed doors was enough to erase myself. To forget we built this house knowing it won't last. How does anyone stop regret without cutting off his hands? Another torch. 2 streams through the kitchen window. Another errant dove. It's funny, I always knew I'd be warmest beside my man. But don't laugh. Understand me when I say I burn best when I'm crowned, or when crowned with your scent, that earth sweat and old spice I seek out each night. The days, 3, refuse me, our faces blackening and photographs along the wall. Don't laugh, just tell me the story again of the sparrows who flew from falling Rome, their blazed wings, how ruin nested inside each thimbled throat and made it sing. 4. Until the notes threaded to this, smoke rising from your nostrils, speak, until your voice is nothing but the cradle of charred. 5. Bones, but don't laugh. When these walls collapse and only sparks, not sparrows, fly out, when they come to shift through these cinders and pluck my tongue, this fisted rose, charcoaled and choked from your gone 6 mouth, each black petal blasted with what's left, our laughter ashed to air, to honey, to baby, darling. Look how happy we are to be no one and still 7 American. So like the poem itself is great, but doing this, like, I don't know. It just, like, some of you might be going, no, that's great. I don't care. I don't love it. he took a really strong, good poem and turned it into like a little game, a little plaything. I don't know. But, you know, maybe there was a reason. But if I have to ask the reason and he has to tell me the reason, that means his poem failed. But there's this one great line where I agree with him fully on. In the poem Notebook Fragments, note to self, if a guy tells you his favorite poet is Jack Kerouac, there's a very good chance he's a douchebag. Hysterical. Oh my gosh. That I laughed out loud. I'm like, oh, up top, bro. Let's do that. But yeah, so long story short, the other thing about this book is that it is very heavy. The poems are very heavy. They're a lot about the death of his father, a lot about murder, and a lot about coming out. Not even coming out, but hiding homosexuality. So this book, even though it's not very long, I think it's only like 68 pages or 88 pages or something like that. It took me like 2 weeks to read because I can only read a couple poems at a time, and then just felt like, ugh, like the energy. Like one of the reasons why he's as big as he is, and we talk about this a bunch, is energy. He puts a lot of energy into his poems. And if you are empathic at all, you are going to absorb that sadness and that grief. And it is very heavy. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to put their energy and put their sadness and put their grief and put their happiness even into their art, and he knows how to do it. So for that, I applaud him and think that this is a masterful piece, but it is super freaking hard to get through. This is not a fun read at all. At all. Not a fun read. I do fear that there's a little bit of one trick pony in here, even though I talked about like 3 different ways he writes poems. But I have another book of his that I'm going to give a go to and see how that goes, and we will go from there. But I also want to let you know that this weekend is my big sale on mattwallart.com, where you could get my limited edition signed and numbered chapbooks that are left for a discounted price if you join the mailing list. And if you are a member of this channel, you get an extra 10% off of what you would normally get. So join the channel down below, like the video, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that you're supposed to do. But make sure you are here on Saturday and Sunday, June 28th and 29th, so you can get the promo code to be able to get the discounts on the items in the store, whether it be my chapbooks or my art pieces on paper or on canvas. Okay, so go to mattwallart.com now and take a look at the stuff you want to get and grab it now to make sure you can have it, or wait till the weekend and hope it's still there. Okay, so yeah, type art, everybody. Join the crew down below, and I will talk to you all later.